they will remanifest physically, but they have to match our current very moment vibration. So that's what happens with every soul shard aspect and all of that. But right now it's just two almost vibrations hitting us really intense, and they all want resolve because this game, so to speak, is at its turning point. Mm-hmm. So they're all trying to make it through the doorway, like literally, like, oh, wait, I'm sorry.
You know what?
Wait, I didn't mean to.
You know what?
It'd be a funny comic, like everything trying to push through the door of like the race out, and all the little shard aspects of us are like, no.
Mariusz one time asked me years ago, why you are so curious about who you are. I say, I don't understand this and I don't know, but I feel like this is my life chance. This is my last chance in this lifetime to really figure something out here. I say, I don't know, but it's so deep inside me.
When did you say that? How many years ago?
This is like 8, 9 years ago. I say, I don't know, it's so strong in me that I feel like I have to. And then second time was when I was high on mushroom with that Indian woman, when I have this really, really deep, and I sit outside the house, it was a night, with lots of stars, and I was sitting and I started feeling like I need to talk to someone, and I talked to Pleiadians. I didn't see them, but I feel them. I didn't see them. I didn't have a really strong visual. Everything was very inside me, and lots of crying. And I say, help me, because I really need to make it okay this time. Please help me. I need help. I promise I won't screw it up, but I need help. And I don't even know why I was saying this, because it's different if you see somebody, right? But no, it was just something that I want to believe so strong that it exists.
Yeah, and that's why we made it through the whole, as a collective, this universal game. Finally, this time, this timeline, we did it, because this was attempted again, like before. And that's why we also feel just tired. Like, okay, if not this time, then I'm like, and I feel like that too. Like, we're just, with this universal game, like being as old as souls as we are.
You see, that 8 years ago, I don't even know what I was talking about when I was saying.
Yeah, we still don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
that's why retrospect is like, again, I said, retrospect is looking back at our life, and then everything that is like, everything is in that.
Yeah, you see the road.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's not. I wouldn't even say things are so much about the present moment as they are even more just to. But I mean, that is the present moment to look in retrospect, but that is kind of even more of a gift in some way than the present moment. I mean, I don't know, both equally. It's simultaneous, so it's not one more than the other, but it's what helps you also create a better present moment. Hopefully, because I mean, if you look in retrospect and you feel like, oh my gosh, it was one failure after the other failure, and it just keeps being more failures, we do lose, and that's a soul wound, because you see, we do feel that in some way as old souls because of the other timelines where we, had so much hope and we thought we were like good, and then we got backstabbed or betrayed, or our gifts turned to use against us.
Well, what I can say, living longer than you in this physical body, I feel like if I want to look at from the physicality of life, I will not say that my life improved. Like I don't have my own house, I don't have a better car, I don't have a husband, I don't have, money, I don't have, but there is some kind of richness that is awakening inside me that compensate that much more.
And the next step is balancing of the two. Because one, that spiritual side, it is more, it weighs out the physical part. It does weigh it out, because just the fact that this universe is moving in the direction of love, that's what shows it. The spiritual, spirit weighs at I don't know what the terms are, I feel like, because it's not about material, it's but truly it's about, because actually a lot of those things that you mentioned, not having enough this, not having enough that, we should all be abundant in everything of those things, and a lot of that is because of the negative cabal here. The way that your like you said, you feel like you should have had more children. Actually, yeah, that was contracted, at least one more, I know for sure. We could have done even more awakening and faster and avoided certain things if you did have one more kid. But that also could have come with a lot of, other pain, and as every relationship does in 3D. So a lot of things that we experience here are because of the, cabal inserting in our DNA memories that sometimes aren't even, they're just entangled in the lineage. Like I said, wow, that day where I was looking at so many of our friends, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're all poor geniuses. We have the self-worth, imprint that we cannot, we're poor. We're the poor, starving artists. No. All of us, most in the... Why can't we have both?
That's why, that's why... That's what I tried to yell yesterday at you.
Yeah, I get that.
Because that's what scares me about most of the people who are more in touch with their spirituality. They just literally neglect their physicality, they neglect their space. You is perfect example.
Yeah.
And
out of balance.
A complete out of balance.
Again, truth is always somewhere in the middle. It's gonna be, you're saying you want to we do need to keep grounded in the physical to bring through, but it's half and half. Right now, and for a while, I see you putting all your focus into the, besides obviously meditating and tapping into spirit, but that's not what we're here to do. We're here to merge the two. So again, we have to, the way you're pulling me back a little bit towards being more in the physical and less out of body and, in my realms and stuff. Because, again, most people, they do. The artists, and it's a hard thing. We have to give each other in general. It's hard to be balanced here. But
the problem is, you say my whole focus going. I have practically no focus anymore right now. I'm trying to find some focus. No, I'm making a...
That's not true. And if you really feel that way, then fuck all the couches and everything. Share 3 of your poems out, because you've decorated every home. You've done it through many Earth lifetimes. Like you said, if not in this life, how you were feeling that pressure to know who you are. Now it's gonna be, who have I helped or touched to help this shift? And like I said, it's not we've already done it, but it's there's more than we can do. And I know that you have so much yes, you've already touched all the people and stuff. If you left today, you get a gold star, you did your mission. But you still can do some work that'll give you more sense of completion as a soul than putting the few energy that you have 100% in putting new shelves and new things, like where we see right now what's going on in the world, and the rituals and the kids and that. So again, balance, because you don't want to become a martyr. Both of us, we don't. Like, forgetting completely about the physical and let me just go and be 100% doing stuff. I'm not even healed myself. But so that's what we're trying to balance right now, and that's fine. That's normal. But yeah, you have so many gifts and ways of, even the video that we did with you, like, you just can speak and you touch people in a way that I feel like you have so much to, like, offer this world, globe, like your imprint right now through media, through sharing. It has such a huge imprint. Like, it has the same as we read poems that were written, thousands of years ago, and we start to understand them today. Like, the light language that you leave behind, all of that, it's gonna really help and accelerate this whole process of where we're trying to move towards. And then there's all the things that, they're going to keep trying to drag us down and distract us, which is going to be, even the spirituality itself can be, because there's no separation in it. I could actually be distracted equally from channeling information. So that's why I have to figure out which one is important and which one am I just like, curiosity learning, or letting, myself go off into whatever, downloading information in this moment, where, no, you know what, I need to be more present here in the now and focus. I'm not going to, like, right now download this Akashic part of the record. I'm going to focus on my video or whatever it is, because here in the physical, that's what I'm here to do. I'm already all the Galicias and beyond on all the different lines, but this particular avatar, it's here to leave everything you imprint, everything that you create with your hands, with your energy, including your apartment too, and making it beautiful and all of that. That is going to be your entrance way to help souls, other beings that are going to be here when we're already on the other side. Like, you will exist, like through all your, poems and things. When somebody reads it, it's like a doorway in. And it's existing the same through paintings and stuff, and through things that are even, they don't even have to be visible anymore. Like, let's say you made a a necklace, and you really put your energy into it. You can work through, even if that necklace has kind of fallen apart and nobody's even ever seen it, it's just been laying somewhere. It's almost like a doorway for your spirit to start coming back and helping here in those kinds of ways. It's like a map, like, that we're leaving, like, with entrance points, like the same as dream catchers and stuff like that. And then the strongest is ones that can actually trigger the emotions of the future generations. Yeah. So everything you leave behind, like, that will be the strongest. If you leave something that gets an emotion, and see, that's the same with the dark energies, the way they work.
Yeah.
Things that trigger negative emotion.
Well, see, it's like you say, it's half and half. It's like I have this complete, like, everything is there that I'm doing, I don't care, it's like whatever, who cares? Friends, who are they? Conversation we have, everything, it bores me, the man, the everything. But it's that earthy part of me also, because I like adventure. I like to see something new, whatever. To sit in the car and drive drive on the new street. It was always in me since I was a child. And yeah, I have the spark, thank God, and I love my walk in the morning. But I feel like it's the sameness again. I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna go with the doggy, come back, do this, now I'm gonna make this. And sometimes the only part of some creativity is when I go to this new place and I paint the wall and I start to see it and smile and say, okay, this is gonna be my first nest that I have a first time in my life for myself. And I feel like
What is that gonna do for others?
I don't know, but I feel like I need some rest, some serenity to put my pieces together, kind of, because I feel very...
Your pieces are together. That's what Mother Mary card said. Paint your wall. Enjoy your wall. But put out the things that are gonna, for the next 7 future generations, that's what you're here to do. Imprint for the 7 future generations. Leave your mark. Your mark is not gonna be the wall in your apartment. That'll be an aspect of it. We could intensify it right now. We could do a whole freaking ritual where, like, the more we put energy towards that wall, it can literally be like the pink wall of mothers, the grand, like, it's true. If we really felt like so much, like, everything, it's just the imprinting. And the more you imprint with things that can affect people's emotions, and you have the ability to affect people's emotions, to help them, like, that's our gift, to help people feel safe. That's what we're here to do. That's an ambassador, really, because it's a piece. It's helping people communicate. People don't know how to communicate here. That's our gift. Even the fact that we're talking right now about our differences and you know, that's what this world needs to be helped, how to communicate through our differences and celebrate our differences. And communicate and recognize, like,
it's a communion. Communion between people.
So it's helping. People always tell you, they call you mother, you're like a mother. I always feel, so many people said that in your birthday video. They feel safe to open up to you. We're a mother and a daughter that have, in this 3D density here and now, like, not many people have the type of communication that we have. And we're not better, we're just older souls that have been around the block. And that's what this world really needs, in my opinion, is to reconnect with feelings and to heal trust, which first step of that has to be communication. And I'm not healed in trust myself. That's what you're saying too. Like, we start, some days that's how I feel. I feel like, what's the point of everything? Like, we just keep going, and does it ever stop or end? Another layer, trying to healing, this, that, I don't want to heal anymore. Like, but that's just our avatar's perception right now, because it's limited in time and locked into this physical pain body and carrying the DNA of so much traumas of, you know. But you see, mostly we remember the traumas right now because of the cabal, because they're blocking out our access to the happy memories. That's where the doubt comes from, you see. That's the whole fucking thing. It's not, that's what I said, they cannot steal our record. They can just insert blockages where we can't see it, mask it, and distractions. So that creates where we actually believe that there has been more suffering in our life, our whole life of this universe, not just here. Like, I believe that we've suffered and more lessons. We cannot, even as our humans, like, we usually remember all the bad moments in some way than we really do the good. They really stand out. Oh, I broke my knee this year is something else happened, this person broke up with me. And then, like, the ones that are really, really good, we remember. But all the, like, other stuff.
Or you agree that that's gonna be your happiest moment, wedding, birthday. I remember.
Yeah, because that's a distraction.
I remember when women say, "Oh, this was the happiest day of my life when my child was born." Shit, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. I will not remember this as an amazing time of my life.
Yeah, well, their meaning is different in that.
No, I know.
They don't mean the moment of giving birth, but receiving that, it's retrospect.
No,
it's
I'm
a
talking about
retrospect.
spiritually.
No, I know.
I'm talking about spiritually because the happy moment is really when you connected spiritually to that moment, whatever it is gonna be.
Yeah, that's why they're stating all of that in retrospect.
Yeah.
You see, because we're distracted from the present moment of having our full record. They are only seeing that as. And oftentimes it's almost like a repeated thing, and this should have been my blah blah blah. Like, there's just these things that we all repeat, and like, looking back where it's a time, like I could say about Snow, oh, my best day was when I got him from the shelter, like, but that doesn't mean that was just, he came into my life and I didn't even realize how much he was going to affect me even then. So I wasn't even aware of what a good moment that was. But the whole thing here is just, it's all a distraction from blocking out. That's why we feel like there's nothing to fight for, because we don't have our positive memories. We don't remember our positive family that's worth fighting for. Our soul family. We don't remember that there's good people in the world that want good. We're all like, and then it's, the news and media, all the stuff, but that's literally what it is. We have access to trauma, and everything the system does, it tries to trigger by stuff here inserted that will trigger trauma memories. You see? So, and that's in the dreams too. That's why things are built in certain shapes and structures. That's why certain smells are brought into this. We're not even consciously aware of it. This whole reality is like, it triggers us to start pulling on the strings of the negative trauma memories instead of everything helping us to access the ones that are the good memories from our whole Akashic record, no matter how old of a soul we are.
I completely don't remember. It's hard for me to, if I even try to think about backward, time-wise backward, I cannot imagine that anybody can really have a good time
but
there.
It's more than that. It's more than remembering the specific, let's say, because that's part of also the Earth Agreement, like how it's supposed to be, like, not to remember all of our past lives, and on Tuesday I went and had tuna fish with this and that, like that's not. It's actually about more energetically that we are literally on an even subconscious level, we believe that there's more horrible than good. That humans and beings have more evil than they have good. We feel more traumatized and afraid than we feel like, let's, in this suppressed earth. But the truth is, when this dream, so to speak, awakens, we find out, and then we'll look back and say, wow, I wish I did more here and there, because we will actually see, wow, this person at 7-Eleven was my, son in another life.
Well,
and that, some person you helped or something, like, wait, that was my brother?
Not only that, sometimes when we finally change something, that if you it's like we start with making phone calls or, opening today, I almost gave up in the first 5 minutes. This was my habit with the bed. Don't do it. Wait, somebody else gonna do it, make my own. And then I say, no, this is for human. I am a human. I'm gonna give another 10 minutes. I'll see what happens. And I was going with this somewhere.
It's breaking the
and then you see actually
beliefs.
No, but actually very often was like, oh, this was easy, I remember opening my own business, thinking about this. It was so overwhelmed that I prefer not to think about this. But when it happened, I was like, wow, why I was waiting for so long?
Yeah, that's why it's baby stuff. That's why I feel like with you, with the creative stuff, no, I'm not telling you sit and write a book. I'm saying sit and write a paragraph. Sit and write 3 sentences. And you will be surprised, whoa, I'm enjoying this the same way as I started writing, and then it just kept going. And when you feel like stopping, then you will. But give it that little tiny spark. It's like a spark. And sometimes that spark, it'll surprise us. Andrew was actually it was on the subject, he was telling this whole guy because he called and for his call-in show, and he's saying that just describing everything, like basically how I would describe myself, right? Like, let's say I'm on my first date, I'm an artist, and all the same things that we repeat. But you say, actually, for the practice of your own, try to create a completely different, like, everything that is normally your, like, story, like, put a whole new story, and do it for, like, 4 days to whatever, a week, where you're trying to be this new type, like somebody, okay, I'm excellent at putting beds together, and I love reading instruction manuals, and I really love to cook, and all the things that are not who I am. And it's an interesting practice because, one, you'll surprise yourself that actually some of the things that you never thought that you were, you actually are. And then you will also see how many times it keeps popping in the real, whatever, the construct personality that is the you that wants to use its sentence that it already knows. Because this particular guy, he said like 4 times that knows a lot about scalar weapons. And he repeated it like 4 times. And so we always assert our, I'm a good psychologist, and 3 sentences later, and since I'm a good psychologist, and then we keep, and it's almost like we're convincing our own self of who we are, the way that I'm not good at math. So we need that, we need to give things a little bit of a chance because we're locked into our own concept. But sometimes we give a little chance to break that concept, and we might find all these other layers of self that you never even really considered can be, maybe I am good at, a good interest. Because, like, let's say this, chemistry, physics, math. I hated that shit because of the way the school system sets it up. But I don't have to be a chemist that needs to know the periodic tables and like plugging in different formulas and things like that. But I actually love the physical just aspect of it, mixing the different liquids and seeing what happens and the colors and understanding it. So I completely shut off even looking at chemistry, so to speak, because of the trauma of the way that the system makes it, where it's like either you do it this exact whole way, you can take pieces of it. We don't have to be the best at everything. To act, and I'll just add this, like to be an actress. People ask you in America always, what are you? What are you an actress? Are you a singer? Are you a this? Unless that's your like profession, I cannot say that I'm an actress. Why not? I don't have to also be an actress and paid and on the main screen to once a week take, an hour out of my day with a friend to put on a role and play something else.
Yeah.
You know, like just playing around with different constructs of identity.
Well, we have a role for every single person that we interact with. You know, short term, long term.
And how we lock in.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of scary sometimes too, because it's almost like another person can also, you see, that's where we even cause harm to each other in some ways, because, and that's how, you know, other people can project that, oh, they're just feeding their own. And that's true in a way. That is true. When it's me and you and our vision, it's harder even to break it. So you see, that's why it's important for, that's how what are they called, cults. We're like a mini cult, right? If we weren't actually conscious. So people
your
perceive
father said
yeah, they
this.
perceive us as a cult because they don't think that we actually analyze things from the layers that we do, where we can look at our own shadows and vulnerabilities and all of, and you know, we question. Usually I question everything. I'm willing to look at all information. I don't say that this is right or this is wrong, like, until proven otherwise. But the way people usually see any type of groupthink, me and you have a certain groupthink. I become a certain person when I'm around you. My voice can shift, all of that. People even say sometimes when we're together, we're like different than when each of us are separately perceived apart by them. And that is also a scary thing when it comes to unconscious use of those energies, because that's exactly what happens when, you know, you lock into a mindset that is not flexible to look at the other. And that's like what we're talking about on the micro now. I'm not good at chemistry. Wait, this group is this kind of group. Labels, you know, it goes through everything. Words, labels, like, we lock into a reality. And there's something with our humanness, you see, that to become unpredictable, to help bring out of one another aspects that, wait, it's like me with you. I expect you to act certain ways, instead of actually sometimes helping to veer you, not in oh, maybe it'd be better if you did it this way, but simply, what other way do you think this can be done? Like, or it's like helping you expand. And groups don't do that. The way this universe, you see, I think that's where we're going now as a collective. We're going the way where we're going to expand, because before it was almost like, as we fractured, we also everything didn't want to be unique. It's almost like we are all trying to be the same. And now the lesson is actually to help one another be different. You know what I mean? Like, and not from the sense of you have to be different because it would be better than what you are now. No.
Just be.
To be
what you want, what you can imagine, what you accept. And
imagination in the sense of what else can we create? What
the freedom, just the freedom, long as you don't harm.
Yeah, I know all that, but I lost my flow. But no, it's about, like I said, like everything, because this is like very macro too, like the whole universe, it was like a one existence, like everything is almost trying to be the same. And we show that on it, even micro, like you go to school in high school and here's where the kids dressed like this sit, and then like this, and we hang out with one person and our laughter starts in syncing with one another. It's almost like there's an aspect of our nature too that becomes, like, that's what they say, you know, you become what environment you're in. But that's a saying that's only for now. Now is going to be the middle way. Like, yes, to become your environment, because that's what makes you a part of something. But simultaneously, how to encourage our uniqueness and expand it. Like, not conform into it, but expand.
What you can bring new to the environment as you. Not destroying environment.
Yeah, and I mean,
but
simply with joy, though, like...
Mm-hmm. How you can contribute to the...
Yeah, it's words are just sometimes they always words bring me in circles, because it's like...
That's why I say I have very often I find the right words to describe what I want to describe. Because they make everything flat.
Because you see, this is what I'm getting to. Because if you go into the polarity of what I'm saying now, celebrate the uniqueness, right? It can go just as bad.
Everybody trying to be unique.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, it can just go just as bad. So again, we've done both, and now it's balancing. It's balancing the two sides. The particular reality we started existing in, it really became conform. Like, we're just all like at the sheep. And then the other side, they wanted to be so freaking unique that they forgot, like, why they're
what else they can do.
Why they're even trying to be unique, or what is amazing about their sameness.
Yeah.
Because I love that I'm like you, and that, you know, I love that I'm like you, that I can be like you, and that we can be similar to one another. Like, those are things that I don't want to be not.
Yeah.
You want, and it's...
You want me to act different? I can.
And I don't want to be like, you know, also let's say an elephant in the middle of a, you know, flock of deer. Or did I say flock of deer? Deer's not a... Well, yeah, in the imagination, flock of deer. You're disrupting my flock of deer flow. No, I didn't. It's in the fridge. You ate your candy. I'm saying we want to fit into our group. You don't want to be like a, you know, turtle and everybody else is a giraffe and you're just like this turtle. You want to be like, you know, but you want to be like a turtle that can also be a, you know, gold turtle if it wants to, and so could all the other turtles. Like freedom of expression.
Look, uniqueness is changes.
Well, I need to dissect that. Uniqueness is changes. No. It's a form of beingness. But beingness isn't, like, changing and being is the same thing.
We didn't try to change, we change.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's the same. The changing and being, it's almost the same thing.
No, but that's what I mean, really.
Yeah. No, I know. I know that's what you mean. It's just like kind of interesting to dissect like words and sentences that we use, because they could take on such a different meaning sometimes. And that's why we have so much is misinterpreted of what we meant by something. Somebody else reads it a whole nother way. And, you know, by you saying that uniqueness is changing, somebody can completely be like, oh, well, that means if you're not changing, you and yourself are not good enough. You have to be changing. Where, no, uniqueness is... It's just the joy of who you are, and recognizing the joy in in others, and helping them strengthen that joy, and not try to alter their spark. Oh, that mother interrupting my flow. All right, I'm toggled out. You've definitely had a lot to say, Mama and I. I wonder, you know how long we've been talking right now? Straight 1 hour and 22 minutes. And 44 seconds. Yeah, that's unique. And we don't have to try to be it. It's just, uniqueness isn't like the recognition of who we are. Okay. See, it comes in layers. Now I feel like, okay, I'm coming. Oi, where is it? Okay, so uniqueness, like how we just said, we don't have to try to talk. It's just who we are. We don't have to try to be unique by having a talkative relationship. We just talk. What keeps us from uniqueness is fear.
Yeah.
Fear. We are unique. We don't have to become unique. We are unique.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Freedom. You don't need to perform, to act, to be unique or different or noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
You are just free to be who you want to be, who you are. Not to want to be or not want to, because we didn't plan that we're going to talk for 1.5 hours or 2 hours. It just happened. And this is unique. You know, we are not high, we are not on drugs.
Something with me, whenever I hear the word freedom, right away it comes with the opposite. Yeah, like a really strong, that's why I always feel like there's something that it's almost like a breakage of bondage, like the word itself. But again, that's why it's always like, you know,
it is
defining what we
bondage
mean.
Because
it is.
More I start know, less fear I have, and when I have a less fear, I feel more free. Because, you know, you start understanding who you are, then...
I know what it is too. You see, there's certain programs in me that have a problem with, it's this word. Okay, so when I think of fear, I also think of, I lost my train of thought again. Okay, I know what it is. Freedom has, to me, a feeling of the non-collective, but of the self. It feels independent. It feels like I get to do whatever I want, regardless of the consequences for all. That's my
perception.
It's not even a perception, it's a trigger aspect of the word, where we don't recognize we can be free in a collective, like the way that I always see free, and it's a program. That's what this reality wants freedom to mean, that I'm just like this bird that gets to fly away by myself. That was my whole night, where I'm sitting there, I want to fly. This was my 2 days after taking ecstasy, so I was coming down and went in my depressives. I'm sitting in bed crying, literally sitting with my arms out. I just want to fly. I just want to fly. And then I was crying. I just want to fly. And then I had like a long pause. But I don't want to fly alone. I'm sitting there like...
But you see, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Freedom for me is that I start seeing even my enemies as part of me. Like, I know who they are. Like you say about Mervyn, who I want to kill, and Melissa too. We were planning to take him to the desert. And then all of a sudden you see him as a warrior, as a part of spark that I am. We might come from different experience and stuff, but you have that little smile inside you. Of course, I'm not gonna go to Mervyn and start
but
talk
that's
to
a
him,
different. Well,
but it brings me a freedom.
Yeah, that goes off in another
and it's
type
a collective
of.
for me.
Yeah,
This
that's an observer freedom, though. You see, that's the observer perspective higher. But right now we were at least whatever. We're not locked into one thing, but I'm thinking right now we're still speaking on the micro level of what freedom represents, right? Because on the macro, that's what you're saying. On the macro, that's true. That's the observer perspective. We start feeling connected to everything. But and we realize the, who we are, and we can see ourselves, and you can observe it, and but Marvin's still gonna fucking piss you off when he's, taking a dump outside of you. But freedom and uniqueness, how I was saying, is just the fear keeps us in just recognizing that we are already unique. And we don't have to try to become we don't have to try to become anything. It's a flow. We become
that's what this
like a dance.
Say that, what's his name, son Smith.
Jaden. Jaden, Will Smith's son.
Jaden, he say in one of his videos, say, stop mimicking after you're mimicking, and then stop mimicking. Find your own music.
Well, he said that you mimic the parents, and without judgment. It's through that mimicking you become your own.
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
foundation.
You find your own. But yeah, the whole thing was we go through the same, how me and you, I want to be, that's exactly what we're saying. I want to be like you. I don't want to stop mimicking you. All of our collectives and things, we want to mimic each other because that brings the closeness, but within that mimicking, then rediscover and bring to life your own knowingness. And then you actually help expand again, teacher, student, teacher, both ways, parent, child, parent. The child mimics the parent, but if the parent is in non-judgment and trying to, make the child do this, that, the child's going to mimic it. And then the parent blocks its own growth, because by judging the child that is mimicking it and it wanting it to become more like them and do this and that, if they let the child become who they already are, then they expand. You grow then through your child. Your child becomes again so it's a greater expansion. And instead, we are programmed here in this reality, mimic, fear. There's no expansion, we're dying.
Well, think about when you have
a
partner that is aware, that have that consciousness, like you do. What the unbelievable experience must be to bring a child here and to observe, what this child care, and who is the spirit. It's every day, you even look at that little Sophia, you see already personality there, you see already, how comfortable she is. Of course, the parents creating the environment, but
you actually grow more towards the parent in some way grows more, I think, than the child from the parent. And I wonder if this on the macro, what I'm saying is also true. It's God itself, the creator, is growing more through what it's learning from us than what we learned from it. Itself.
You are the most unbelievable teacher for me. I don't have a better teacher than you.
I would almost say that the micro pieces are the greatest teachers to the macro. Then the macro is to the micro. I don't know, I'm just saying that right now. I would have to, philosophize down that trail. And I don't know even if there is, that I don't think there is an answer. that'll be like a point of how we perceive it, and we could go endlessly probably back and forth. But I think in some way, because then it's like, again, you just go in circles, because then I could say that, well, what if the macro is the greatest teacher, because the micro, like our fragments, thanks to the connection to it, it's like it goes both ways, are finding, thanks to our connection, endless connection to it, we remember ourselves and simultaneously expand ourselves and the macro itself. The same as the parent and me and you, where like a parent and a child is the same as God and its pieces. And the same as I would as long as, you see, that's where we feel betrayed, because we feel betrayed by the God abandoned us. When we feel betrayed by our parent, our growth, it ceases to want to thrive. We've lost the zest for the desire for life through that separation. We've separated too far. It's the same as like like we're like orphans. Like if a parent, you mimic whatever, I'm becoming myself, but I have a constant connection to you, and I see that you're growing through me, and then I want to grow more, and we want to become better in each other's eyes. But in this universe, there was a point where there was a disconnection from our, but then from the, creator, where we felt all of a sudden abandoned, like, God abandoned us, so to speak, our parent, like, where are they? How can this be? Or, and then simultaneously, we never lost that. That's where you see, that's where Creator itself, it does, I feel like, grow so much, because it actually found out that we separated so freaking far, but we still made our way back and expanded it, which, like, let's say Creator, the parent, it doesn't know that itself, like, that could happen. Like your child returning to you after such disconnection. But again, no more disconnecting to that point. Like, I don't think realities of orphanages and orphans of macro, micro, like, yeah, I'm going. They're just not realities that I want to participate in. Like, that is, because that, when you start feeling disconnect like that, that's where we start creating suffering for one another. And yes, there are lessons in suffering, but do we need those lessons? Do we want those lessons? Or can we learn in different ways? Alright, Mother fell asleep, and so shall I.